Bah. All right, well, good morning, everyone. I'm sure you don't realize that it's still morning here at Bridgeview. Welcome to BridgeviewAdventures. My name is Cindy Lynn.
I'm Tony.
And this is our cat Zero. He decided to come in and see what we were doing.
Coming to meow because he's hungry, even though he just ate.
So we welcome you to the channel. If you're new, Tony and I are building our living quarters, home base, Barndominium, whatever you want to call it.
Barndo.
While we're living in our motorhome. So we're living in there and doing all the work when we can. And not gonna lie, it's a lot of work, but hopefully it'll be worth it. Actually, this morning already, today is Saturday. We're what, about the 8th of May, 9th of May?
8th, 9th?
Today's the 9th. 9th of May. Tomorrow's Mother's Day. And Tony has already unloaded, what, 28?
Yeah, sheets of
concrete board. Because we're getting ready to do some work.
Fixing a new tile in the bathroom.
So we want to go ahead and invite you to subscribe to our channel. We do a lot of motorhome videos, camping videos. We do a lot of Polebarn stuff right now with the Polebarn build. One of the main things we wanted to talk about how Corona was affecting our build.
Yeah, everybody's doing construction. I mean, there's a lot, the contractors haven't been stopped.
They're essential.
They're still busy. I mean, really busy. You can go to your local big box stores and they're packed with people. A lot of people are home, so they're doing projects at home and remodels and things of that sort. But we got caught with one thing. And we have one door over here on my side that goes to the laundry room. We ordered a specialty door that had glass in it. It's a three panel door, just like the rest of the doors that's in the house, except that the panels are glass. And we got a call, and I thought it was, hey, it's in, come get it. No.
This was like 2 months ago, too.
Yeah, oh, it's probably done, but it was made in Canada. And Canada has shut the border. So
non-essential.
No trucks in and out. So our door is somewhere in Canada.
Hey, Canada. Yeah.
Where's my door? Canada.
And that causes downstream problems because the painters, they have to wait on the door.
Trim.
Because
I can't put the trim up till I get the door up because the painters will be painting the trim and the door.
Right.
And and I don't want them to come back and paint afterwards because it's a spot paint. I'd rather get it all done at one time.
So you want it down?
Yeah.
Bye, buddy. It echoes in here too, so it's hard to hear because when you talk, even if you talk a little quiet, it still echoes really bad.
So in a way, it's not all that bad because we're not in any grand hurry, so we're allowed to actually slow down a little bit and go through things in our minds of what needs to be done because I think it actually would have hurried things a little bit too much.
Yeah, I think so too, but the only thing we were worried about is the painters were waiting on us, but they haven't contacted us back yet. They did put the primer coat on. I don't know if you can see behind us. So it's like a light gray, and then you can't really tell unless you look at the ceiling where they painted it white. You can see where they meet.
Yeah, the first coat of the ceiling was on.
Okay, so the update. So that was the one, our door stuck in Canada because of Corona. Number 2 is we ordered.
Ordered our cabinets.
My favorite thing, because we were going back and forth, and we actually have visited how many stores looking at cabinets?
We've been to the big box stores. We've been to kind of specialty wood shops.
Big construction companies.
Big construction companies.
Suppliers, basically.
And then I got online. Well, we had the Amish build the buildings, and I contacted one Amish cabinet builder, but he worked through a store that would sell them, and I wasn't much on that because I'd rather work with him
directly.
And so I did just a little bit of searching, and about an hour and a half from here, I found another Amish person who has a Amish cabinetry business.
Right at his homestead, actually.
Yeah, right in his house, Barndominium, basically.
So we drove an hour and a half to go see, because he has a small showroom. He has like a little pole barn and has a showroom in it. Kind of Polebarn home actually, and then his shop separate.
But we really like the
oh my
fact-
gosh, they're beautiful.
We really like the fact that, of course, he doesn't chintz out on anything. It's all real wood, made by hand. You know, he's a craftsman. It's not assembly line. Which we had talked to him about painting, and he talked about painting and how he doesn't have to quick dry his paint because he's not in a great hurry. And the big box stores have to quick dry the paint, so they actually bake it on. But
yeah,
it was things like that. And also the concept of he will do the install himself, not the big box store buying it at the big box store, and then they hiring a contractor to install it, because that contractor is really not going to take care of it the way that if it was theirs.
Yeah.
So the person who built it is going to be putting it in. So he's going to have more pride in his work.
But the only thing with that, a couple things is, number one is he couldn't get a driver to come to our house to measure. He was going to, but then they wouldn't cross the border because this was still before Corona was.
He's in Kentucky, and the rule is supposed to be that if you cross over into another state, when you come back into Kentucky, you're supposed to be quarantined for 14 days. So he couldn't find a driver to bring him across because he's being Amish.
Tony measured.
So I measured everything up, and we took the dimensions to him.
Hopefully it's correct, so that's kind of funny. But his cabinets, his showroom was beautiful. Like, I fell in love. I'm like, oh, we gotta have the cabinets. Now, the good part is they were pretty close to the price. We had 3 or 4 other quotes, so they were close to the other quotes, which made us happy. So they're probably getting made right now. Okay, so the Amish cabinets. You need to stay tuned to see what they look like, because we actually got 2 different colors scheme. So one of them is a stained wood that's going to be partially, well, I'm not going to really say. You just have to follow us along and see what they end up looking like. So we're excited.
So they're probably being built
right now.
Or close to it, because he said it'll be almost 2 months before they come in. Usually it's about a month. So right now he's so busy that that's probably 2 months out.
Yeah, except for we're waiting on a sample of one of the stain colors.
After he's built them, he won't stain until the end.
Oh, okay.
So he's gonna give us a sample of the stain, because he didn't have the stain sample. So we'll be able to. He's gonna mail a couple samples to us so we can see the color.
You can start the other color though, if you needed to.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so next update.
So one big item that we have to wait for paint, because I can't put baseboards down until this floor gets done. So we do have a contractor coming in to finish the floor. So we're not going to be able to have stain because of what has happened and what's been done in all the rooms. So we've had to opt for a water-based, it's a water-based stain, epoxy. Excuse me.
Yeah,
water-based epoxy coating. It is epoxy. It will be high gloss. We are putting a high gloss finish on top of it after we put it on.
Well, tell them what this. We think you guys will really like this John Deere green.
We thought that would look good.
I was going for the red, but anyway.
Just kidding. No green. So it's a muted color. It's called conveyor gray. So go ahead.
So we're going to go with the gray look, just like we were doing before, because, like we said, we want it to be concrete and concrete look. So
it's this one.
So basically, it has a high gloss concrete. The only problem that was on it, I wanted him to, in order to put a paint, if you're staining, the stain is super thin. It just soaks into the concrete, and then you wipe off the residual. So it's super thin, and it's really, stained. This is going to be a coating. It's like a paint. So it's thicker. The problem is the grooves that we have cut into the floor, we run the risk of filling those grooves up with paint when they roll it on. Now, he's going to be careful with that, but he's really worried about it. So I wanted him to just dig the grooves back out and dig them deeper, because they're not a consistent depth. When he cut these these grooves, he cut them with a 4-inch hand grinder by hand. He didn't have a guide, so they curve in some spots. They're not the consistent depth. They get thin, and then they go deep, and then they go shallow and deep. So I asked that person who's going to do the floors if he would just recut them and cut them all at the same depth, and he don't want to touch it.
No.
He's too worried that this guy's job was so sloppy and that it curves. If he does a straight line,
Kitty's back.
it's going to miss where the curves are, and he's worried it'll look like worse. So luckily, I get to do it. So that's on my agenda this weekend because he's coming next week. This weekend, I get to cut the grooves deeper, and I'm going just a little bit wider too because these are just really thin. I mean, they're fine for a stain, but while I'm doing it, I might as well just cut them wide. So that's the job this weekend. But we have to have that done before we put the baseboards around the outside for the paint.
So it's kind of held us up a little bit. But that's one other thing that affected us with Corona, because we actually, if you watched our other video, the contractor that did our floors before just didn't come back one day. So, I mean, there was no issues with what he was doing. He was trying to figure out what colors, and you can watch that video if you need to. I'll put an eye in the sky.
So the big items really right now that we've got going is we have to get we're going to get the floor knocked out next week. That'll be out of the way. Once that's out of the way, I have to get molding done for the painters and the door, of course. So at that point, I'll be waiting on the door. But what's holding the molding up is floor, door, and bathroom. So the master bath upstairs will have a tile floor. So by the time you put a backer board on the floor and then put a tile on top, that height, I don't know what that height is in order to put the baseboard all the way around the bathroom. And I want it painted with the bathroom, with the paint whenever they do the walls. So I got to get the tile done in the bathroom, at least the floor, so that I can put the molding in. So there's things we got to get out of the way. Paint is going to be really close to one of the last things. I mean, really close. After the paint, literally we'll be waiting for cabinets and countertops.
Yeah, and the countertops we haven't even touched yet, so we don't know, who's doing them, what color, what style, any of that stuff. So that's going to be figured out later. But we really want to get our door in and then get the floors done and feel like we can move forward. So, but yeah, with doing part of the construction yourself, it's a lot of hurry up and go and wait, hurry up and wait, basically. So there's times where we're busting, to get things done because of whatever reason someone else is waiting to come in.
And I just realized,
or we're in a slow period.
I just realized, basically, kind of this morning, I was thinking things through my head about what I should be working on to get ready for whoever and whatever, and I thought about the floor in the bathroom, and I thought, I need to get that done before I can put the molding down. So we're not contractors. So there's nothing out there that shows you the steps.
We're figuring out as we go, basically.
Yeah, you got that right. You just gotta step foot in your head and I need to do this, I need to do that.
But I do want to say that some of it seems easier than I imagined. Like if you are just thinking about basically doing most of the work yourself, it seems like a huge, way big project. I mean, that you couldn't even accomplish. But you got to take it in baby steps.
Here's an analogy. Could you eat an elephant?
Nope.
Yes, you could.
I wouldn't eat an elephant though, because I like
one bite at a time, and that's building a house. You take one project at a time. Work on that little project.
And figure it out as you go.
Figure it out. YouTube it. Figure it out. Do it. Get it done. And then you get on to the next project. And you nibble away at it. And then the next one you nibble away at it.
Yeah.
You just got to know and think about the overlaps. What do you have to get done before this one? Before this one?
And so was there any other updates? The last thing I wanted to talk about was when we're tentatively planning on moving in. Is there anything else on your list board? Here's his list.
It's a board. Yeah. Do construction, and you'll learn that pieces of scrap wood that lay around on the floor become stair tread dimensions, and then I take these into the camper at night and start Googling, or I get on AutoCAD and start drawing things up accordingly so I can figure things out. Baseboard.
Yeah, or I'll make a list of things that need to be done for him. So I guess nothing else on the board.
Nope.
Tentatively, and we're just throwing a date in the air. We're thinking the end of July.
Yep.
But I think that's being a little hasty, maybe.
End of June, they're supposed to put the cabinets in, and
We may have a month after that, so.
countertops.
If that's
Once the countertops fly in.
yeah, I think that's gonna hold us back. I think the countertops will be holding us back, probably. But we'll see. So, I don't know. We definitely are gonna be in before Christmas. That's our
Oh, yeah.
Because I wanna have a
We're
big
not in by
Christmas.
Christmas, man. I boo-booed something bad.
Yeah, I wanna have a big Christmas this year, so.
Electrical's almost all done, all the sockets, all the switches. I've got all that ready for after the painters are done. So I had some downtime. So I was like, I asked the painter whether I could put them in, So that we just have to cover them when they come back because they spray on the paint. So there's not rollers. So other than that.
Yeah, and this looks like a shower, kind of, I think, if you're just looking through video. But this is our future coffee bar. So this is the most exciting thing we're ready for, coffee to cocktails.
Coffee to cocktails.
All right, well, that does it for the updates. And I guess we'll see you in the future at the home base. Everyone stay safe and well.
Link and subscribe.
Thank you. Bye-bye.